Hi, babes. Oh my God. I cannot tell you. Seriously, I feel like I have completely opened up a whole new portal within me. And I am so excited about just like where I am getting to like come from moving forward. But I don't want to spend any time talking about me. I want to talk about the concept that comes up a lot of times as we start to push ourselves into really wanting to go after something that we want and the fear around really actually having what we want. And this is something that I see come up time and time again. And it's something that is really important to unpack. So let's really unpack it together. So this usually comes up when we are stuck in a pattern and we are tired of being in the same routine pattern. And this can be either just being single and never actually being able to like move forward in a relationship with somebody. It can also be when you're with someone and you're just feeling like this relationship is getting stagnant and it's just not showing up in the way that you really want it to be. But either way, it's this place of like, I know I want to get over here and I can't. So what do I need to do to get over there to have what I want? And if we aren't aware of it, we end up having a lot of blocks around actually getting over there because it really is all energetic, right? Like life and relationships are all energetic. It's just how we're putting out energy to others and how others are receiving it from us. And so if we are not able to just boom, get over there, it's because there is something blocking us, keeping us from getting over there. So I had this come up for a client the other day where she was saying, you know what, Teal, like, I just don't understand it. I seem to have no problem attracting men. And by the way, this was my story too, and probably many of you guys, your story as well. I have no problem attracting men, but for some reason, every man that I attract in, I just feel like isn't who I really am meant to be with. Is there something wrong with me? You know, I'm getting older and I see all my friends getting married and having kids, and yet for some reason, I can't seem to get that. Like, why can't I get over there? And I use the analogy of almost like looking in a window of a store glass and like being on the outside and like seeing all your friends inside this like store, like having a good time. Maybe it's like a wine bar, like all of them drinking wine, having a great time. And you're on the outside in the cold, like looking in, being like, why can't I get in there? Why can't I be like them? Right? And there's two things I want to say here. The first is breathe and remember that you are not on the same path as everybody else. Nobody is on the same path as anybody else. And I know this is like, yeah, no, you get that on like a mental level, but it's really important to just like let that land for you and really let it come in on a soul level. We are all on our own paths here. And so when we get caught up into the comparison game with somebody else, it makes it really, really challenging to be able to actually get what we want because we're always comparing ourselves to somebody else. And that can be okay. It can be okay to do the comparison thing if it creates the contrast for you to be able to recognize, ooh, okay, I'm not where I want to be here. So let's move me over here so that I can actually get forward and get ahead and where I want to go. But if you are already in the place where you're like, I know where I want to go, and now I'm just being reminded over and over and over again that I can't get there and that these people have it and I don't, that is detrimental, right? So the first thing is we're always on our own path. Everyone's on our own path, and we cannot get caught up in the comparison game. And with the social media world, if you are getting in that, like sucked into that vibe with all of your friends and all of like the people you're following and influencers and blah, blah, blahs, like all going out there and doing the dating, love, relationships, married, babies thing, and it's driving you crazy, it's really important to protect yourself and get out of that because it messes with your head. We really, like, we create the reality that we believe. And if we are seeing a reality that is not what we want, or it's showing us what we don't have, then it's constantly telling you, see, you don't have that. See, you don't have that. See, you're not good enough to have that, right? And it starts eating away and bringing us into a downward spiral. So we have to make sure that we're protecting our mind from the inputs that we let it in. And the inputs, oh my God, this is such an important topic to talk about too. The inputs that we let into our mind can drastically shift everything. Like I was even noticing it when I was watching TV the other day. I was like, I don't watch TV that much, but like every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, I just want to unplug a little bit and just like zone out. And so I've been getting really into Grey's Anatomy. But I gotta say, like Grey's Anatomy is a really intense show. And the intensity, I think maybe too, because I'm very empathic, and as women, we like really feel emotions a lot. Like I was feeling all of the emotions from the show, of every character, of every trauma victim, of every family member that had someone die. Like it was really, truly deeply affecting me. And I think that that can just be really, really dangerous if we're not aware of what we're doing. And now when I go and I watch TV, I actually have to like protect myself and like put up a reminder of like, this is a show, this is not reality, right? Because our mind doesn't know the difference. It really can't tell the difference. And if I get sucked into characters on a show, it can be really easy to just go, oh my God, maybe this is like could happen to me and what could happen in my life, right? But I digress. So number one is don't compare yourself to others' lives, and allow yourself, or make sure that you're giving yourself that protection mechanism to not get wrapped up into comparison. And then the second part about it of like, why can't I have what they have? It usually has to do with the fact that you are not meant to live an ordinary life. Okay? I want to say this again. You are not meant to live an ordinary life. Because if you are at this point where you are still struggling to have relationships work out for you, or you're still not finding the one, it's because he just hasn't shown up yet. And because you are still working on getting to a place where you need to be for him to be able to vibrate into your experience. So I really want you to make this distinction and remember that if you had just wanted to be in a relationship, you would have been in the relationship. And probably more times than not, you have gotten into a relationship, but it hasn't worked out for one or another reason. So don't be second guessing yourself for those relationships not working out. You're not meant to settle for a relationship that is not fully, deeply enthralled in your being, in every cell of who you are. Okay? This is so, so important. You are meant for a great, great relationship. For some of you, maybe even an evolved partnership. And what I'm really starting to tap into is like what I call a spiritual partnership. Someone that's not just there to like bring home the bacon and like, you know, pop out babies with you, but like someone that is here to like help you and your soul evolve and vice versa. And that you can be like co-creating this really beautiful up-leveling partnership that like up-levels yourself, up-levels your relationship, and up-levels like humanity. That's where I'm heading. And it is so beautiful. I cannot tell you. So I just want to like reassure you, babe, that if you're in this place where you're like, I don't understand why I can't have what everybody has. Is there something wrong with me? No. It's just about recentering and realigning about what is it that I really, really want? And how have these last relationships not been that, right? And what do I need to do to start shifting to step into being ready for that and to really prepare myself for that relationship and that partner to be able to enter my life. And for some of you, and for a lot of us, that means doing some heart work and doing some like energetic clearing work, because we tend to hold a lot of blocks around our heart chakra. It's something that is just like very, very tight for a lot of us. And women that come to me a lot of times feel very disconnected from their heart. It's literally almost like they just have this block from head to heart. And so my work and my job is to help women to get out of their head and back into their heart. And not only to get into their heart, but then to actually open up their heart, release out all of that weirdness that may be blocking that heart space, and allow themselves to just breathe freely and breathe open and breathe and be able to like let others see their heart. Sometimes for the first time, other times after being healed after a very deep trauma. So this is my message to you, babe, today, is really take a second to just check in with yourself. Check in with yourself if you've been getting wrapped up in the comparison game. Check in with yourself if you've been starting to feel inadequate, feeling like you can't get what other people have. And check in with yourself if you've actually been giving yourself the time and the spaciousness to connect into your heart and allow your heart to breathe. Because if that hasn't been happening, then that's culprit number one. And that's the first thing that needs to be connected to and to be worked on. So, yeah, I want to just leave you with that today. Please share this message if this is resonating with you. Share it with a girlfriend. And as always, if anytime you're feeling like, oh, hot damn, she just hit the nail on the head, like, please write to me, comment, come onto my Instagram, like, message me, reach out, because I'm going to keep just pouring these messages out to you all day long. And I know that at some point it's going to hit home when you're just like, yes, this is the time. This is the time I need to do to actually open up and like get this out so that I can go live the life that I want to live. Right. So yeah, if that feels like something that feels now, like, don't resist the urge, like, reach out to me and let's work through this in whatever way needs to be, because it really, really is so important. It's so important to take care of our hearts and make sure that we are coming back to that soul space before anything else can happen in our life, right? So sending you so much love today, babe, and we'll talk soon.